Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. We're going to talk about Bitcoin and its wild predictions that it has. So, hello. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, hit the bell button, like and comment. Also, give me a little follow on the socials, please. Now, this is an interesting topic. It's coming up to monthly close in June. I think we're going to get a bit of volatility coming up in the next couple of days, weeks, possibly, due to COVID-19, the stock market. We are tied to the stock market, but there is some horrifically mental, crazy, stupid, in my eyes, predictions about Bitcoin going into the next 5 to 10 years, or even in the next 6 months if you're John McAfee, in terms of his willy eating antics that will be happening very, very soon. Anyways, I am bullish on Bitcoin long term, right? Just to put that out there. But, I personally believe we are not going to go beyond 100k. Sorry, broken your dreams. I just don't think it's possible. I think too many roadblocks are in the way. I think there's too much in terms of manipulation, futures, all kinds of stuff like that, which will affect the price. My personal viewpoint, I don't think success should be governed on price, especially when you consider, by the way, this is a speculative asset. This is a decentralized bit of kit to an extent. It's a bit different, okay? I personally believe that if said institution, said authorities, even though it is decentralized, are going to let Bitcoin run up to 1 million, you're probably thinking, maybe not. They will put certain things in place to stop that. And I think futures, by the way, is that little element. But I am bullish. I think we will go higher than what we are now eventually over time. But yeah. Anyways, if you've never heard of Bitcoin and you are interested in buying Bitcoin, personally, I think anything below 7k, $7,000 that is a decent place to start off from, and then just carry on adding and grow the Satoshis over time. But that's all I'm going to talk about. But I want to go over some analysis, so stay tuned for that in terms of my overall viewpoint of Bitcoin. But I want to talk about this. These little mantras that get people into Bitcoin, the little promotions that have little celebrities going, oh, I think Bitcoin's going to go to 1 million. But reality strikes that, okay, let's start doing maths. But this is a really interesting website. It's called bitcoinprice.com. And it goes over some of the big influencers in the world that have predicted. I know predictions are a bit wishy-washy, but predict the fact that Bitcoin could go to a certain price. So you got 1 million here by 2037. Okay, fair enough. You got this one here, the CEO of Zeppo, board member of PayPal. 1 million by 2027, you know, I would be more than happy. Don't get me wrong in this any way, shape or form. If this happens, I will be over the moon, obviously. But I do think it is very, very far-fetched. We have 700k. We have 500,000. We have 400,000. We have Roger Ver at 250,000. And we also have Pomp at 100,000, which, in my view, I think that at 2021, by the way, is ambitious, but I do think 100,000 could be the sky, in my viewpoint. I understand the fact of scarcity, demand, obviously it is speculation. We don't know what's going to happen in the world. We don't know if everyone's going to go to it, but what we do know, the power consumption of mining will be incredibly expensive unless that is resolved. We also know that transactions are slow on Bitcoin. We know that. It's obvious. That is simple. But to allow it to get enough volume to go to those prices, it'll be very, very slow. It'll be very, very expensive to buy. That could be a deal breaker. That could be a sign that goes, oh, we may go somewhere else if we are looking for people to buy and invest in cryptocurrencies, which is kind of scary. We've got 100,000. We've got 91,000 by 2020. Maybe a bit, yeah. Midterm, we've got Ty Lopez. Fuck off. I'm not even going to read that one. Ronnie Moore's 500,000. We've got... Now we're into trillions of market cap now. So market cap in the world of cryptocurrency, by the way, is nonsense, right? I just want to get that out there right now. This is governed by the circulating supplies as per the value of the coin. Each value of the coin, so say if one coin is worth $1 and they've got 21 million, it's worth 21 million, right? It doesn't make any sense because anyone can add coins to the market. It works differently in stocks. Stocks, it's bollocks, right? So you may find that inflated coins, such as ones with huge amount of coins, are worth more than the ones with less amount of coins, but one's got a really good use case, one's got a really bad use case, but it looks more valuable than the other. Doesn't make any sense in my eyes. Anyways, we've got 8 trillion market cap, which would be, well, 100 times what we had in reality of the bull run. So that's a huge amount of money in my eyes. I think it's 100,000? No, 10,000. 10x. 10x more than what we had in the bull run of the last time. So you can imagine, right? So we went to 20k, 10x it. Oh, that's Bitcoin. Then you got obviously Ethereum. You got obviously XRP. That's pretty scary in my eyes. 7.5 trillion. Still pretty substantial. Winklevoss twins, 5 trillion, which in my viewpoint is probably, yeah, wouldn't surprise me if it is 5 trillion in my eyes. I think long term, when you override and think the overall total market capitalization of the whole industry, I wouldn't say Bitcoin as a whole would be worth 5 trillion as a market cap, because again, as I've already said, that metric is nonsense. But if you're looking at the overall valuation of everything over time in terms of money flow and stuff like that, I think 5 trillion, when you compare the percentages of what the gold industry is made up of, when you look at what the foreign exchange is traded, when you look at the stock market, how much is held in there, and all kinds of wealth generation, 5 trillion in my eyes would still be a very, very small slice of the pie, but a significant slice of the pie considering where this all started from. Let's be honest. So yeah, in my eyes, I think 5 trillion isn't too bad if you're thinking long term, a good 10 to 20 years in my viewpoint anyways. In terms of predictions that were correct, obviously, we've got Tim Draper 10,000 by 2018, sorry. Obviously, cool. Mike Novogratz 10,000. And then we've got the incorrect ones, which are kind of the comical ones in my eyes. When you got, obviously, yeah, he's going to eat a willy soon. You got this dude here, Ran, who's as much used to the chocolate fire guy when he put him on CNBC. Yeah, and all the other ones here as well, obviously, that are incorrect. But in my eyes, I think bullish long term, but I think there's a sky limit. I think in terms of all the propagating factors of cost to mine, the cost to probably transfer and use and all kinds of stuff, and the speed of transactions, we may get a few little issues when there is a huge influx of volume. Remember Ethereum at crash, remember Bitcoin, it was $40 to transact. It was crazy back in those bull run days. So let's talk about this. Let's have a little look. Now this is a 4-hour time frame. Currently we are forming a bit of a trend formation going downwards. If I go to the daily time frame, or the 3 daily actually, just misclick it. But in terms of this, my viewpoint is I think we're going down. My viewpoint, right? Not financial advice. I think stock market's not looking too good at the moment. I think there will be a big, massive sell-off at some point. I think this is a huge relief rally based off artificial volume, stimulus checks, all kinds of horrible manipulation. Sorry, I'm just dying of a bit of a fake cough there. But in my eyes, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency as a whole, has been also propped up by that. We are tied to the stock market. It's kind of a bit of a shit show. But ultimately, it's not looking too good right now, in my eyes. I think this is going to definitely 110% correct at some point. It may not go down to the 5k levels as I predict here, but it wouldn't shock me to see an 8k Bitcoin, a 7k Bitcoin, or even a 6k Bitcoin in the next coming months if we have coronavirus cases. Fundamental wise, by the way, Bitcoin, in my viewpoint, it's bullish because you've got fake money, you've got the printer going off, you've got all kinds of issues with that. Obviously, banking issues, obviously, social distancing, you can't access your money as easily, all kinds of horrible stuff, right? That is bullish for Bitcoin, obviously, decentralization to allow you to be your own bank. However, there's problems with volatility with Bitcoin, there's problems with the use case of Bitcoin in terms of simple usage. Not everyone is available to it. It's all kinds of problems like that. That is why I feel that Bitcoin is no longer at the moment as ready as we feel it could be. I still think we're a few years off getting to that adoption phase. But overall, it's there and could be used if people need it. If people put a little bit of time into educating themselves, into using it, obviously, yes, awesome. But fundamental wise, you've got a bullish case, but fundamentals, you've also got the bearish case of it's hard to use, it's volatile, I don't want to put my wealth into that. If you are a big time investor or an institution, that's a problem. But what I will say is this, what looks bullish to me is if we go down to these levels and we get some huge orders into the game. I think, and I'm going to zoom this out, there is extremely bearish predictions here in my viewpoint where we could go down to a low $1,000 and also $2,800. I think, personal opinion, not financial advice, if we get that low, which is very, very unlikely, there will be some huge orders for Bitcoin. Huge orders, which could change the whole game. Change the whole game long term. It could change how many people are holding Bitcoin. There will be probably quite a bit of scarcity at that point as well. There is not enough demand to fire this beyond this red box as it stands. If we can pick up a load of new investors down at those lows because they've seen what's happening in the shit show of the stock market, the fiat world, all that horrible banking shite basically, that is where the bullish tendencies will come from, in my viewpoint. So in terms of today's video, that is pretty much it. There's some wild predictions that I think are very much hopium. But fundamentals of Bitcoin, we are here, it is strong. However, we need to fill up a few little issues that we've got. Mining cost is expensive, we know that. The use case of Bitcoin to use it is getting easier, but it's not as easy as we'd like it to be. And you've also got the issue of scale. If we have a lot of volume, a lot of users, a lot of investors, can we maintain a low transaction fee? Will it still be quick enough to use? But what about the rest of the cryptocurrencies? How will it survive? So there you go. Enjoy, like, comment, subscribe. If you want more of these kind of realistic thoughts, let me know. But yeah, have a good one.